Your day is never better than when you spend early morning spending time with God. I'm Pastor W. Lonnie Herndon. I want you to get ready for morning meditations. Listen to one of our ministers of the gospel share a word that's going to bless your life as you begin your day.
Good morning. Welcome to Compassion's Morning Meditation. My name is Rushyna Wallace, and I'll be reading and giving my thoughts on Hebrews 11:6 from the NLT version, which reads, "And it is impossible to please God without faith. Anyone who wants to come to him must believe that God exists and that he rewards those who sincerely seek him." Now, I'm going to read that again, and I'm going to put emphasis on certain parts, okay? And it is impossible to please God without faith. Anyone who wants to come to him must believe that God exists and that he rewards those who sincerely seek him. Now, what I took from this passage, and I hope that you agree, is that God's first and foremost concern is with our faith, our attitude towards him, and our trust in him rather than in our actions. But with me saying that, this does not make our behaviors unimportant. So let's try our best not to be out here acting crazy, okay? Because at the same time, what we do reflects what we truly believe. However, as this verse shows, merely going through the motions is not what God is looking for. Those who want to please God need to have faith, not simply agreement, and not merely reluctant cooperation. Faith is a must. Faith is the entrance point to a relationship with God. He interacts with us based on his grace, and we respond in faith. Given the basis of this type of relationship, we understand how important faith is to the believer. In fact, this passage boldly declares that without it, it is impossible to please God, because the simple truth remains that we must believe that he is before we can come to him. Now, if faith is the starting point, then it makes sense that faith is a key element for life. Throughout the Gospels, Jesus commented on people's faith. In most cases, he even asked and wondered where it was, saying, "You of little faith," or "Where is your faith?" So if it is important to please God without faith, the opposite is also true. Faith is what pleases God. A good example is in Matthew 8:5-13, which reads in the CEV version. When Jesus was going into the town of Capernaum, an army officer came up to him and said, "Lord, my servant is at home in such terrible pain that he cannot even move." "I will go and heal him," Jesus replied. But the officer said, "Lord, I'm not good enough for you to come into my house. Just give the order and my servant will get well. I have officers who give orders to me, and I have soldiers who take orders from me. I can say to one of them, 'Go,' and he goes. I can say to another, 'Come,' and he comes. I can say to my servant, 'Do this,' and he will do it." When Jesus heard this, he was so surprised. He was so surprised that he turned and said to the crowd following him, "I tell you, in all of Israel, I've never found anyone with this much faith. Many people will come from everywhere to enjoy the feast in the kingdom of heaven with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But the ones who should have been in the kingdom will be thrown out into the dark. They will cry, grit their teeth in pain." Then Jesus said to the officer, "You may go home now. Your faith has made it happen." Right then his servant was healed. Okay, so when the officer came to Jesus asking him for his help, for his servant's help, Jesus agreed with him that he would come to his house. The officer could have easily have taken that and been like, all right, come on, Jesus, we out. But the officer did not do that. He had faith and knew that Jesus could make it happen whether he came with him or not. The officer displayed true faith in what he knew Jesus could do and told Jesus to say the word and it would be done, showing his understanding and authority and appropriating it. When Jesus heard this, he was astonished and said to those following him, I tell you the truth, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith. Matthew 8:10. The officer's faith made Jesus stop and marvel, which is noteworthy. Then Jesus said to the officer, go, and it will be done, just as you believed it would. And his servant was healed that very hour, Matthew 8:13. The healing took place according to the faith of the Roman officer and in the manner for which he asked for it. Jesus just came into agreement with the faith that had been displayed. So you see, faith was and is important to Jesus. He looks for it and responds to it everywhere. So the truth is that God responds to faith. It pleases him. It moves him to act, and it is essential in the life of the believer. So today I encourage you to walk each day by faith with confidence, exercising your faith and looking forward to what God has in store for you. This is how we live in a way that pleases God, by having faith and the promises he promised us will come to pass. I pray that this blessed you this morning and you received something from it, as I did. Walk in faith, saints. Thank you for tuning into Compassion's Morning Meditation. We are here every day at 7 a.m. Be blessed.